All right, yeah. Good evening, everyone. We are now exactly 14 days away from the start line of the Comrades Marathon. In a line that represents months of discipline, sacrifice, and countless kilometers logged in training, isn't it? At this stage, physically, most of the work is done, but mentally, this is where the real battle begins. And this final stages, kindly mute yourself, please. And in this final, in this stage,
Yes,
physically,
sir.
most of the work is done, but mentally, this is where the real battle begins, isn't it? And these final 2 weeks are crucial, not because you can improve fitness, but because your mind needs to stay steady.
Yes, sir. Yeah, sure, sir.
Many of you may be, feeling those familiar, butterflies in your stomach. You might feel like, is my mileage is enough? Can I hold my target pace? Should I follow the pacing bus or run my own race? What if I get a cramp? What if something goes wrong? All this kind of thoughts like coming to your mind, shall I join Satis's bus? What time I should finish the halfway? What pace I should maintain? Where in the hills shall I run fast? Down I should cover up? All those kind of things like. So you may even start imagining aches and pains that were not there before. Closer to the events, you get that pain, like it imaginary pain, sort of like, that's all part of this taper, mind game. It's normal, and you're not alone. In fact, some we even experienced runners like us also, we do get sometimes. So to guide us through this crucial pace and to give us the perspective for someone who has been there not once but successfully, I've invited a runner. He embodies calm, consistency, and quite strength. It's Kiran Giri. He'll be sharing his down experience, practical race day insights, and most importantly, how to manage your, mind in these crucial final days before the big day. So, a small brief introduction about Kiran Giri. Kiran Giri began his running journey in 2007 purely for health reasons. Since then, he's grown from humble beginning to running 21 full marathons, including 3 world marathon majors, and also he has done 3 world major marathons, 2 Comrades marathon, along with countless unofficial long distance runs. In 2016, he completed Comrades marathon in under 9 hours, earning the prestigious Bill Rowan medal. He runs not for records but for the love of sport, which is perhaps why we may not have heard him speak often, but today we are fortunate to hear from him directly. So please join me welcoming the silent powerhouse, Kiran Giri. Kiran Giri, welcome.
That was quite an intro, actually. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
I'm
for.
overwhelmed. I'm thinking now. I mean, आपने इतना कुछ बता ही दिया, अभी मैं क्या बताऊं?
Thank you so much.
Anyway,
Thank you
thank
so
you for
very
the
much.
lovely, yeah, thank you for the lovely intro.
Yeah.
So, and it's an honor to be a part of this group right now. So, you know what? This morning I was in BNP, so somebody was saying that यार बहुत ही weather खराब है,
Hmm.
and saying that I mean weather खराब है is an excuse,
I will meet them.
and
Yeah.
weather
Kindly
खराब
mute
is an
yourself.
excuse that you would want to give in the last few
Yeah.
days of your comrades. You have 14 days to go, and तुम्हारे लिए weather खराब है. वहां पे तो weather खराब ही होगा. What are you going to do? So he's, हाँ यार. And I was telling him that the most important practice before going to comrades is your mental stability, mental calmness.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is I have a presentation which is right in front of me. I'm going to roll out a video first, an introductory video
Okay.
about comrades. And whenever I used to go to comrades and I used to play this video again and again, I'll tell you the reason why. And I did really, it's a video about comrades, and I'm sure it'll make you happy. So let me begin this.
Years of the Comrades Marathon, and you are part of history every single time you run this race.
At the break of dawn on one day every year,
Thousands of people
from all walks of life,
in every corner of the globe come together
to take on the 89-kilometer stretch of road
through the Valley of a Thousand Hills
in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa.
Oh, a little bit out of breath. Okay.
You're right. It's just a cramp.
He's come too far. He can't bail now. We got to go all the way to Durban.
This last 3 kilometers, you just push yourself.
It's mind over matter. We have done so far, you can't give up now.
You've got to get going. Go!
It's changed me, I swear to God. It's made me a better man. The comrades. It was easy, everyone would do.
Comrades, it builds people up.
This basically tests your body on how far can you stretch it. So
4, 3, 2.
it is really the ultimate human.
अपने को क्या करना है
Okay. So if this video has given you a goosebump, which means that you are mentally ready. So 14 days from now, you will experience all of that you have seen in this video. And 14 days from now, when you start the race, I always keep telling this story that, I've told this story to many people saying that when I crossed the finish line, the kind of person I was in the starting of the line was different from the person that I was when I crossed the line. I think in that one single journey of 89 kilometers, while there were many different emotions, and sometimes it was all mixed up. At one point, I was wondering, yaar, sab kuch to theek tha, yaar. You had cozy bed, nice and easy life, you have wine and dine. Why would you choose to just make it so difficult for yourself and run such a long race? Not too sure if any one of you have, gone on a self-discovery mode, but some of you will realize that you never decided to run a marathon or an ultra marathon to get a validation from the rest of the world. Well, it would have, somehow started that way, but the immediate thought when you cross the finish line is not the medal or the photograph or Insta or likes. The immediate feeling is when you cross the finish line is a sense of accomplishment, a moment that is so proud, that you had probably 1,000 reasons to give up, and you never did. All the way, you took yourself to the end of the finish line. The indomitable willpower that you showed, the great determinations that you survived with, almost all alone, all along the way till the finish line, you never doubt
I'm
yourself.
just, excuse me, Kiran, you have put the thing on, like you can't see nothing on the screen.
Sorry?
Everybody can see the screen. Anything is on the screen.
No, that's okay. I'll come to that.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the records that you broke all the way, the silence, the silent accolades probably, for me, it was like, I was like, the accolades were running down my cheek, and the tears of happiness, or whatever you call it, and the realization of self-worthness, the amount of motivation that you did to yourself to drag yourself to the finish line, the feeling of absolute sense of achievement, and the feeling of having to survive that wonderful journey all by yourself is what will define you. And maybe that's why somebody told me that, when you start the race, you're a very different person, and you finish the race, you become a very, very different person. You'll be grateful that you had a ground to hold you. You will be grateful that you had the courage to survive, and you'll be grateful that you're still breathing this wonderful energy full of air. So in somehow it will alter the way you felt about yourself, and probably it doesn't even matter which medal you won. The fact that you held on till the finish line is a great story by itself. And you still survive to tell that story. That's the greatest thing that'll ever happen to you. Sorry, my video's on. Okay, so that is the greatest thing that will happen to you. And when I actually look at this whole thing, right? So, over a period of time with some experience or the other, I tried to basically, figure out, who gets to the finish line of Comrades Marathon. And, what does it take, right? So it takes few characters, and there are very few defined characters who takes on this huge, long journey of Comrades Marathon, right? So, and it's quite a journey. The thought of running the 90-kilometer race in the Valley of the Thousand, who does this? Who takes this stuff, right? So, this is my own definition of 3 combined characters that will get to the finish line. A character that probably, all of you who are in this call today would have had. The first and foremost is the perseverance. Perseverance is someone who can do the same thing again and again and again, over and over and again, despite of difficulties, despite of setbacks, discomfort, discouragements, but someone who will do it till you finish it. That kind of character, someone who has a lot of perseverance, that is the character number 1. The character number 2 is someone with willpower, an indomitable willpower, someone who has the courage to, get up and get back, no matter how many times they fall, somebody who, when they run out of the fuel, they know how to get back. And believe me, in this whole race, there'll be 1,000 reasons for you to give up, but there will just be few reasons to go on, right? And the reason will be willpower. So the combination of perseverance and willpower, the characteristics of perseverance and willpower. And the third one is patience. And this thing is like, my wife used to ask me, how do you have so much of patience? And I used to tell her, you have to run a marathon for that. Maybe a few ultras. When you run these races, you become so calm. So the patience as a character is, you can remain calm in the midst of a storm. Someone who has trained their mind to, wait until the last moment. And these are the characters. If you find this character in any person, I still believe that if you have perseverance, if you have willpower, if you have patience, you have all the characters to finish a Comrades Marathon or even endure, better things than this. So as you go forward, there are a few things that I keep saying that, I keep writing, but some of the things that I think that defines a Comrades Marathon, a Comrades Marathon is about running 40 kilometers with your legs. That is the half you can go. That is the maximum you can go with all the practice that you've done so far. The rest of the 30 kilometers is pure grit, because there will be no leg for you to run, because there will be no physical, fitness for you to run. Next 30 kilometers is all grit. After some time, the grit gives up. The next 10 kilometers is just your heart. Just that you're desperate that you want to do this. After some time, your heart even gives up. And then you'll realize that you're in a lot of pain. Next 5 kilometers is all about pain. And then you'll finally realize that the finish line just doesn't come. The last few kilometers is just about emotions and tears. And believe me, you will realize what I'm saying. On the day that you run the Comrades Marathon, the last few kilometers will just be about emotions and tears. And I was so exhausted that, in Comrades Marathon, in the bib, you have your name, right? You have your name and people call you by name. So by the end of the Comrades Marathon, when I reached the finish line, I was so exhausted. Maybe physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I had nothing. I had given everything in the journey. So when people used to call my name, I used to literally, I think I used to cry or something like that, I used to choke. So that's the emotional level I had reached, especially I think on the first one, because that was my first experience. And I thought, it's going to be like a great run. But yeah, I mean, you just realize a lot of things you learn by mistakes or whatever you call it, right? So that's the kind of level you reach to, right? And it's not to scare you or anything like that, but these are the different emotions that you'll feel on the entire race. So what do you have? You have 14 days to go, 14 days to complete your tapering, and then you go to the big day, right? So what do you do in this 14 days? Because you've been it's run, RWS, so you have got the best of the trainings and you're all set, in terms of trainings and all of that stuff, right? So what is it that you have to do in these 14 days? I think there are 5 most important things for you to do in 14 days. And believe me, this has nothing to do with training. I'm not going to preach you about, hydrations and, all of those stuff. But these are very, very vital things that you do. Because the most important thing is your mental state during these 14 days, right? The first and foremost thing that you must do, and I would urge every one of you to do, is manifestation. Now, this is a simple thing, right? So, but in its true state, what it means is making a desire or a goal become so real through focusing your thought, your feelings, your intentions, everything, all of that to help you align with your goal. Just one intention, just one goal. So what you must do is you must run the race over and over and over again in your mind. That's all you have to do. Every day, just run the race in your mind. Think about the distance. Think about the ups and downs. Maybe have a chart in front of you about the map, your down run map. Just think about it. Run the race over and over again in your mind. That is all you have to do now. And that's the time you have left to do. So all you do is manifestation. And believe me, it works. It basically, Sare Kainat, that's Hindi dialogue, right? So, the universe will conspire. All of this is true as long as you think about it, right? So this is all that you have to do. If you're a Bill Rowan, all you got to do is think of crossing that line at 8:30, 8:40, 8:50, whatever your timings are. The second thing that you need to do, and this is very important because if you don't do this, then you'll go crazy, is motivation. Watch these kind of videos, get yourself so inspired. It should be like goosebump moments. So what are you doing then? You're actually training yourself to make sure that, like, you're getting all the positive vibes about the race, about the day, about the marathon, the day that you're running this ultra marathon. The motivation has to be at its peak. Watch the videos over and over again. Think that you are a part of those videos, and make sure that you are motivated enough to get to this race day. Third most important thing is, we think that we've trained, but there are so many other sketches who basically forms that particular painting, right? The minute details that is been carved by so many different pencils and so many things, right? Now, gratitude is not something that you do it for others and keep going and saying, thank you to everybody you meet. But gratitude is actually being thankful for, for just, them being a part of your whole journey. You can just meditate the gratitude, or you can just probably have some time to go and tell them that, thank you so much for helping me out with this. I think it's so important to feel grateful to have people help you through this wonderful journey. So I think the third most important thing is gratitude. The fourth most important thing is rejoice. Now, it is very easy to get carried away, right? So, you'll suddenly feel that anxiety. Oh God, what's going to happen? My training was not good. Last day, today I'm not sleeping, and I'm not hydrated enough. I'm not able to get sleep. That's the most important thing, right? So the comrades night is like tomorrow is the run, and tonight I'm just not sleeping. It's okay. The only thing that you can do is fill yourself with lots of these things that comes to you. Just convert them to rejoice and just stay calm. You are the few privileged people who has the motivation to run this race, the energy, the physical fitness, the mental strength, and the whole ecosystem that is supporting to get you to the finish line. So just celebrate these moments. And I think echoing positivity, every incident from now till the comrades race has to be taken positively. That's it. Just echo that positivity, celebrate every moment, convert the negative stuffs to positive. And I read, I listened to this talk by Eliud Kipchoge. He says that pain is the most important part of my training. And if I have to look at pain as a pain, then the pain will cripple me down. It will not allow me to go to the next race. But I convert the pain to a positive sign. I convert the pain to something that is actually making me alive, keeping me alive to go for it, right? So it's a very nice way of looking at it. You're actually converting something negative to a very positive thing. So every moment from now gets converted to something that is positive. Maybe that is why I say it's like, this is not just a race, it's a journey, and it changes your perspective of so many things around you, right? So I think these are the 5 most important things for you to do. Unless and until you're not, mentally, really motivated, really inspired, somebody who has a lot of gratitude and rejoice, think positively, then you'll some way feel that like, I'm just lagging today. And am I good enough for this race? Convert that to something really, really nice and really, really positive. Always think that the best thing that has ever happened to you is to get to the starting of the race, right? So that's very important. Okay, so what's going to happen from now on? On the June of 8th, you're going to push yourself to the brink. You will test yourself. You will test your willpower. You'll test your grit and self-belief and everything, right? And there might be a point in time when you think that you can't. Just forget that can't and convert that can't You can. That's the power of positivity. Now, if you look at the whole map of the down run, you basically see that there is a very, very nice undulating, and there's a reason why they call it the Valley of the Thousand Hills, right? There's not even a single place where you actually find, it's leveled, and it's all flat. There's no flat. There is no flat. There is either up or there is down. So it is a Valley of the Thousand Hills, and that's why it is really wonderful, because when you go up, you're pushing yourself, and you go down, you're recovering yourself. So just remember, in down run, you get a lot of time to recover yourself. And by now, I'm sure you would have practiced a lot, to run down, because, you see this, Bothas Hill and then downhill crest. So after that, you have Fields Hill, which erstwhile is a hill when you're actually doing an up run, and good for you. This year, you're doing a down run there. Now, there are two sides to it, right? Sometimes they say that down run is even tougher. For those who probably, practice well and you know how to use your body in your down run, this is going to be your best chance to have a PB. So overall, you'll see that, most of the hills, which is essential and up, has been converted to down in a down run. And that's the reason why they call it down run, right? So it's a wonderful map of how the whole thing is looking at, right? Now, I just want to bring to a point where you will be soon, you will be at the start of the race, and there will be a lot of these mixed emotions, there is always two sides of emotions, right? Now, the two sides of emotion is either you are in a negative emotion, which is basically you're thinking of the fears, uncertainties, and doubts, whether you're going to do it. Oh my God, this guy's done 20 times and this guy's done 10 times. And everybody you look around, they look like absolute wonderful athletes, and you in the middle feel that, oh my God, I am, I tapered too much. Maybe I've put on weight and I'm not even looking like an athlete. All of these thoughts are coming in your head, right? So there's a negative side to it and there's a positive side to it, and both of these alter. But what you got to do is you choose a side. You choose a side, and the day is in your hands. So the people will PWP, the earliest thing which I mentioned, right? Perseverance, willpower, and patience. The people with that will always be excited, and there will be gratefulness, and there will be hope. So the day is going to be great, and it's such a positive energy, right? People are so excited, and they are basically, singing the, KwaZulu Natal's, the song, Sosaluza, and that's the song, right? So Sosaluza and and the African, national anthem, and so on and so forth. Now, when you do that, you have this sense of amazing, gratefulness and gratitude that you are one of those 20 athletes who even thought that you could do this particular race and had the courage and willpower to stand at the start of the line. Now, that itself is huge. That itself is like a huge thing, right? And you are with this aspirational targets of doing a Bilron, doing a bronze, or doing a silver, or whatever it is, right? But you are a part of that particular 20,000 odd people who thinks that is possible. And that's 0.00001% of the whole people around the world who can even think that they can do this race. 20,000 people around the world. You are one of them who can even think that you should start at the start of this Comrades Marathon. So be really proud of that. So if you have to ask me the strategy of how, what, and what do you need to do, and a lot of those questions Satish would have answered. I'm sure you would have had a lot of these question answer sessions, And I would take question answers in the end, and I would love to answer if you really think that I need to do that. But my strategies will be this: divide the race into 5 distinctly different terrains. If you see this, you will realize why it is divided into these terrains. And this race strategy of 20 to 40 will be very different from the race strategy of 40 to 55 or 55 to 70. The race strategy will be very different. The race strategy of 0 to 20 will be very different from the race strategy of, let's say, 40 to 55. So I would still say, if it's not too much, you divide this race into this 5 different distinct terrains. And these terrains are, basically one of those which has too much of variations. So you need to plan it well, right? Second thing is, have an independent strategy for these terrains. Have a very, very independent strategy. The moment you know that you have reached 20 in your watch is when you need to shift and realize what to do. When you reach 40 in your watch is when you need to shift and realize what to do. That is the kind of strategy that you need to adopt for each of these. And you need to plan and train for every route according to the gradient and undulation. So when you're going to comrades, you might as well know what is going to come. That's the most important thing. You have to know what is going to come, so you prepare well in advance. Now I'm exactly in the middle and I know that Inchanga hell is coming. So how do I do that? Because I'm already at 40, right? And from here, I'm physically a little tired. So that has to be distinctly known by you, right? The most important thing is enjoy and complete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down. If there's any question, I can take it.
You can unmute yourself and ask questions if you have on this.
Yeah, anytime.
So, Girish, hello.
Yeah.
Kiran, just one, are you going to cover that on those 5 sections? What would be your recommendation in terms of going too conservative, where we should push little, or which area we must kind of walk, and which area we must, cover up?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do next, Yogesh.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move forward. You can always think of the question in the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break this down further. Okay, so I'm going to break this down further, and we will talk about each sections. So what I called the first 20 is just the warming up and enjoying the run. That's it. The first 20, you don't get too excited with people going in front of you. It's okay. Let the whole world go in front of you. Don't get carried away. No, never get carried away in the beginning. Because what happens is, see, you have a normal heart rate. You start running now, you have an increased heart rate, right? On a normal day, you will take your heart rate from, let's say, whatever it was normal, 60 to 70, to about 100, 90 to 100 and 120, right? On a heart rate of an anxiety situation, or a heart rate of an anxious situation, the heart rate would actually go very, very fast. And the doctors are here, and they can always say, thing about, I'm not an expert, but I have known from my own experience. If you are in a state where you have an anxiety, let's say, for example, you didn't sleep all night, and you haven't yet, gone to the bathroom or something like that. It can be some small things triggering, or you just want to pee. And things can be very, very simple, okay? And these are very, very practical things which happens in the beginning of the race, right? So that's when you will start feeling, the heat right from the beginning. And this is exactly what we need to avoid. Just don't bother. Don't get carried away by anything. Just make sure you're not overreaching your heart. You are only trying to get to the running momentum, which is a very, very slow and steady pace till 20. Okay. The weather is going to be a little cold because you're beginning from Pietermaritzburg. Pietermaritzburg a little colder than Durban. Okay, so just enjoy the weather because you'll be having your wool or whatever way you're applying the race. You probably give it off on the ground or whatever. So do not rush. Do not hurry. There is no hurry. You be below average, that is fine. Let the crowd go in front of you, that is fine. Get your breathing aligned. That's all is important. Just enjoy the cool breeze. If you got to go in the sides and, do whatever, just do it. But just make sure that you are in a state where you are cool. Just make sure that you're cool. You're enjoying, This is not a moment of rush at all. 1 to 20. No moment of rush. And you get to a comfortable state. Depending upon the kind of runner you are, you will get to a comfortable state. Let's say, for example, you are a full marathon, 3:30, 3:15 runner. You'll get to a stage where you're comfortable, depending upon your comfort. Or if you're going for, let's say, 3:30 runner, or you're going for Bill Rowan, right? Don't have the Bill Rowan in your head right now. Don't have it. Just get to a state where you're comfortably running. That's it. And you will get to your respective comfortable state anyways. So first 20 is just a warming up because you have 70 more to go. Right, so first 20 is just a warming up. So you will be basically thanking yourself because Poly Shorts is going to be a down run for you. There'll be a little bit of little poly coming up and then you'll go down. And then there will be a little bit undulating climb to Umlas Road. Now, these are the climbs which you'll not even realize, okay? So you will have a beautiful sun coming up. And when you reach 20, that's when, you will feel a little bit of warm and you would want to take off whatever you have and give it on the side. And you just want to feel good about, a little bit of warmer breeze coming. No warm breeze is going to come till now, but you will feel a little bit of sweaty and a little bit of cold sweats. So that's what you're going to feel, right? So, and then you'll reach Umlas Road. Now, the beauty of Umlas Road is on the up run, you will be tired as hell. But Umlas Road now is when you actually take a very, very steady climb of your race. Okay. So the 20 to 40 momentum for a runner who is doing sub 10 or sub 9, the 20 to 40 momentum is a little bit of push momentum. You feel the heat because you are in a very, very beautiful terrain. It's just undulating and it keeps going down and down and down and down and up a little and down, up a little, and you're in one of the most beautiful terrain of this entire race. 20 to 40 is when you take advantage. You make sure you don't lose the alignment, right? If you don't have to take, often breaks don't, because comrades is such that every 2 kilometers you have something going on and people want to give you some stuff. So don't take it if you don't want to. Just enjoy drumbeat, but you focus on your running form, take advantage of the down runs, and just start pushing yourself. So here I would say, so if this is for let's say for example a Bill Rowan or sub 10 runner. If 0 to 20 is like a 6:5:45 pace, then I would see 20 to 40 as an average of 5:45 pace. Okay. So this is what I see, but then of course you have your running plan, you go by that. But this is what what I see, the comfort of the runner, which I have seen, the average pace which 320 or 330 runners can run, they would be at a very, very good pace right now. They'll be doing a lot of undulating, but taking advantage of the downs, and they will be very, very comfortable, and they'll really feel very good from 20 to 40. And you reach 40 in safe hands, because 40 means that you're almost on the half of the race, right? So this is where I see everything getting aligned. The moment you reach 40 is when you realize that you are going to head towards some bit of difficult terrain, right? So then that's when you have midway, and you really enjoy, because midway there'll be a lot of people waiting and waving for you, and you'll still be very, very nice, and you'll feel very happy. And I would still say that, like, all the Bill Rowans and 10 sub 10 or sub 9s should reach you by around 4 hours. 4 hours would be great, because you would have run very well, and you are not exhausted itself. You are at a average heart rate of zone 4 or zone 4 here, right? And you have not exhausted yourself, and you're doing really great. But now when you actually get to the Inchenga climb is when you actually see if you have overdone yourself very badly, if you're really, paced up to, like, as if you're doing a full marathon, then you will have difficulty in climbing the Inchenga. Now from here, the race for all the Bill Rowans, your medal will be defined by how you do well from 40 to 72. This will define your Bill Rowan. So for you, the race has just begun. All that you did now is probably like, warming up. The race has just begun. And in my race, I still remember we caught an 8:30 bus for a very long time. And the 8:30 bus was going at around 5:30 pace. For the rest of around 30 kilometers from 40, almost reaching 70, we were at a pace of, average pace of 5:30 to 5:20, 5:30. And he had warned us, saying that I will not wait for you. If you have to have water, just get to the side and drink it. But I will not wait for you. And this guy was a hefty, guy who basically was an African guy. And there was this group of 8-10 African guys who just used to shout energy, energy, energy. That energy just got into my ears so much that sometimes, still today, when the race is getting a little tough, I still say energy, energy. And it gives you energy, Now, that is a kind of momentum you have to pick up, right? So this is for, sub 9s. For sub 10, you will still see that the undulations will give you some break. You walk around. When you reach up the Inchenga, you walk, and then you have down, and then you take advantage of the down, and then you run. So you still have those, liberty. I would still say that for the ones who really want to get to, get to 8:30, 8:45, 40 to 70 should be the time when you actually, you really, whatever you probably would have held back, from 0 to 40, you really take advantage of Hillcrest, Fields Hill, both hours down. All the down runs are here for you to take advantage of. And that's what we were essentially doing. All the downs, we were like, I still remember my watch actually on Hillcrest and down that road was showing me around, 5, 4, 40, 4, something like that. Because, if you're really a good runner on down run, right, this is a great place to run. If you're a good down run runner, and I know Dr. Carter is a very well down run guy, so You all you have to do is like, just hold on to that 40. Don't rush till 40. You have great places coming for you to show yourself in the down, right? So just let yourself go in the down. Don't even bother. Just let yourself go. And this is going to be a great, terrain for you, especially the later part. So which is essentially the 60s, 70s. So I'll come to that, but the halfway mark is, I think, something which is a tough mark, right? The midpoint of everything, including life, midlife crisis kind of a thing, and all the words being coined, right? Midpoint is something which you really, you really have that question of how do I go from here, right? Because I have still half to go, which means that one more full marathon to go. How do I really do that, Sai? Those questions will come to you, but when you're feeling like quitting, think about why you started. You started off with everything combined. You gave yourself a target that you'll complete this in whatever way you wanted to. You started off that way, right? So there is no going back. And I will tell you something about pain threshold later. But what I wanted to do is show you the stretch of 40 to 55. This is the most crucial part, right? And I think if you ask me, the reason why I'm showing this is actually for the 40 to 55 stretch. You really feel the stretch here. You really will feel that you have to, you have to go beyond your mental stuff to even, try this particular undulation. Because you have Inchangab going down, and then you have hell lot of hills. It's like hill after hill after hill. So, what you have to do, the only thing that you can do great is if you think that you have to walk, brisk walk, and if you think that if you have a down run, take advantage. Be very calculative, brisk walk and take advantage. Take the crowd motivation as much as you can. Don't let your running form even deviate. Because if you let your running form deviate, you're going to have hell after 72. So don't let yourself do that. Go beyond your pain threshold. Now, this is a point when I'm talking about pain threshold. We normally feel pain because there is some part of the body that is not allowing you to go forward. For some reason, it thinks that, like, if you go forward, then you probably like injure yourself. Now, there is a normal person's pain threshold that you complain about everything. There is a ultra-marathon runner's pain threshold that is really high. This is the day you test your pain threshold. Make sure that your pain threshold is a little bit on the higher side. If you think that you can go, just go. It is your day, just go. But if you think that you just cannot go, maybe you have to stop. But that particular point of thinking that you just cannot go has to be a little higher. So you push yourself. Your pain threshold is in your hands. Okay, maybe my pahadi hu, mere ko wo chota mota pain, I just held on to it. And over a period of time, when I start, I cramping like how, but on that cramp, I ran like how. After some time, the cramp is gone. And believe me, this happens. You just have to go to the next threshold, push yourself, and it'll heal. That is not maybe a great, it may not be a great advice, but this is how I practice it, and this is purely, my experience of how I did that race. Uprun will definitely tire you in this particular thing, but walk often. It's a brisk walk, but then don't let yourself to a state where you're actually, really, because this can push your, push your pace back. So don't let your pace go back. And then all the practice that you would have done for down run is getting tested in the next 55 to 70 and 72. And this is when, I have seen a great runners, really backing off. And we were five of us. We basically were one of those runners who basically said that, okay, we will do great. Out of that, two survived, which was me and Kostu. One guy was a fantastic runner. I have seen him getting in the side of the road and puking, and really, really bad state. I just had to, keep him there and go but at this 72 point is when I realized that I am not able to continue too much anymore, right? So you get to that stage in this kilometers, and sometimes it can come to you in a very, very harsh way. Sometimes it can come to you in a mild way, and sometimes you got to handle it in a different way, right? So there are stage where you might reach that for all that you have done, and these is valid for the faster ones, right? So if you are a consistent runner and you probably are looking for 10, 11 to even 12, your consistency will take you till the end. There is no problem. You just have to be consistent. Down run, just be consistent. Enjoy the race. There's absolutely no stay. But for all the fast ones, this is the area where you're tested. Okay. You have mostly down, but that is the most difficult part. They say the down run is a little bit more difficult because of this particular place. Okay. But do not hold yourself back. It will hurt you bad. You just have to let yourself go. This is where you need a lot of hydration and a lot of energy. So all the good hydration that you would have done in 20 to 40 and probably 40 to 55 will be valid for 55 to 70, which means that your hydration would be planned in such a way that you would have already hydrated for this particular place, right? So load up your energy a little earlier. Cramps will come, and down run needs a lot of pain threshold. Quads will go for crazy. You try to stop and then you probably will feel like you're falling. So all of those things, right? Don't try to pick anything. You will not be able to lift it. So just keep going. You'll realize the body is like a machine. And this is the realization I had. Maybe I was like hallucinating or whatever it is, right? I suddenly felt that my body is a machine and I am out of my body. And the only thing that I'm left it is that thing to motivate me, because my body was anyway going, right? So I was the one which is like not going, stopping. So I didn't want to stop my body. So I was distinctly two when I was doing this. So, you want to, go do your best, race till the end, but just don't get too excited. Pine Town will give you a lot of energy because it has beautiful undulating downs. Don't get excited here. So when you reach the end, that is the Cowies Hill and down, and this is when you basically have to, so the earlier I was saying, right, 40 with your feet, and then, the end is just a mind over matter. It just your heart is also over. So it is just your emotions. So think of all the good reasons that you shouldn't give up. Why? And this is when you probably is like, you left everything in the grounds. Walk if you want to, but don't give up. This is when you have to double up on don't give ups. You will start hearing the drums of Durban, and that's where the finish line is, right? So if you want to, if you're okay, if you have a timing, you go. But if you're okay, then you can do a beautiful walk around because the support is so beautiful. People are all over there, and then like it's even okay to cry because I was so overwhelmed. When somebody used to call my name, I used to, really get very overwhelmed. So then you reach the finish line, and that's your final moment. So, whatever state that you might reach at this particular point in time, The only thing I wanted to do was lie down there in that green grass of Comrades and not get up. And that's, I think, the most wonderful feeling that I have had, in my whole life. And, nothing can beat. You cannot, you probably cannot write about it, or you can't even explain it. And this is what I still, recall what Bruce said, right? Comrades will inspire ordinary people to do extraordinary things. And it's so true because, this is the point in time you'll realize that, your purpose in life was different. So reflections, and this is my own reflection. Okay. So this is something that I felt about Comrades. I think it's an emotion. It is pure emotion, and it's something that will change you as a person. And every level makes you feel capable of doing extraordinary things. Every difficult things that you took. So when I finished, what did I feel? I was like, it is over now, right? So, and I still remember. I just lied in the grass. I don't know, for some reason, I just didn't want to wake up, and somebody held me up and I was like limping. And then I went there and they said international tent. I was walking and I fell down. And that's when Ashnath came, Ashoknath. And then he held me saying, buddy, are you okay? And then I told him that I got my bill. So he was like, yeah, you got it. You got it, man. So I saw Ashnath in that race at about 40 kilometers, and he was lying on the side of the road. And I think he quit the race. That was the race which he quit. And in the end, he was there to support me. And then he said, what do you want, water or beer? I said, beer. That's all I remember. And after that, the cramp was so much. Right. And then that's when rest of the folks came. But this is what you feel, you cannot explain. You just feel so extraordinary. And you don't run Comrades alone. I mean, it takes a whole village to prepare you for that. Your family has given up so much, right? So, and they haven't seen your face for a very long time. That, face which takes them to a holiday, and all of these things are gone, right? For each one of you. I mean, so every day it's just waking up and running, right? If you've practiced well for Comrades, you'd be doing 100K of mileage every week. I have done 60, 70K of mileage, and I was okay, right? So that's how it is, right? So you have your family support. You have the friends who have told you that, man, you can do it. You have your trainers, Satish, who's really believed in you and trained you well. You have so many people. You have your kids. You have the whole village that has come and prepared you for this race. So it's so amazing, right? And I think after this race, when you actually get the Ultimate Human Race medal, that's when you realize that nothing is impossible. If you could run a Comrades, you can do anything. So you reach a level where you realize that nothing is impossible. And that's such an elevation to yourself, right? One race. That'll make you realize that nothing is impossible. And I'm sure this is a story which is going to be told over and over again to the next generation, and they're going to be really proud of you, right? So this is what is Comrades for me. And I'm sure it's going to be for you. And these are the faces that you will see in the beginning of the race. And for whatever reason that you're running, some of you are running for peace. Some of you are running for that accomplishment. Some of you are running for inspiration, for gratitude, for defining yourself, whatever reason that you're running, right? Whatever you may feel in the beginning of the race, the only thing that I can say right now is may the force be with you. And when you get to the end of the finish line, maybe you will echo some of the things that I've told you in this presentation today. And this is what I had for you.
Oh, yes. It's really incredible session. Guys, any question answers session now? Like you can ask any questions if you have with Kiran. You can unmute yourself. इतना सन्नाटा क्यों है भाई?
Sir, we are just trying to sink in the entire energy that Kiran sir has derived, and we have just lived. We just have to run now. We have already lived the comrades' route by what sir has taken us through. So hence, I think everyone is just quiet and it is sinking in.
Okay.
I'm glad.
A really amazing session. Really great. Amey rightly said. Superb session.
Then I feel like, I have just completed after hearing this. Thank you, Kiran.
Thank you so much.
Can I have a question, Satish and Kiran, please?
Yeah, Dr. Karthik, please.
I don't know.
Ask you.
I don't know whether I misheard Kiran or whether what he said was correct. Well, I mean, he said his mileage was like 60, 70 kilometers, did he say, per week?
Sorry, I'm talking mute. Yes, Dr. Sandeep.
Yes.
I did not I did not go beyond 70K of mileage in
Per week.
Per week.
He's genetically strong. He's like, he doesn't require mileage. But it is like, you must have done your 56 and 65 and all that.
Yeah,
right?
that I did. Long run I did. And that was
what was the longest run for you?
I think we did around 60, 56 or 60. 2 runs,
Okay.
I remember.
Okay. So that actually puts my heart at ease because I've been actually injured a lot over the last a few months. So practically I started running only around February, and I almost did my first run. Like the first run itself was the qualifier that I did the last possible run I did in 20th February. That was the Delhi Marathon. I qualified in 4:46. So my slowest marathon in my life.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Absolutely
Yeah.
fine. No worries.
And after that also the total mileage in the last 3 or 4 months, it has not been more than I think 400, 500 also. I have not crossed 75 kilometers per week in my own mileage. But then somehow, because of my experience from 2014, when I was running very fast, I was at 3:36 as a full marathon qualifier, and I went for the build round back then. But because of lack of experience and I blew myself out in the first half. That's why I could not get it back then. But I am now banking on, like you said, partly on the genetic ability. Like Satish said, you're also gifted. I believe I am also. And in spite of the lower mileage that I've done, I am counting on my strategy and the pacing more than anything else. And I'm hoping that I'll crack it somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. See, the thing is like, that's why I said, right? See, if you get your 40 to 72 right, and that has a lot of undulation, which 40 to 52 is a lot of up, and 52 to 72 is a lot of down, right? So in that 40 to 72,
I'm gonna go
is where you have
shower.
to focus. That is
I'd
all you
gone to
focus.
drop her
Rest
toiletries.
you can anyway do it. 40 to 72. You just think of that day, that particular route again and again till the
Yes.
comrades. If you absolutely nail that, you had it. You'll do it. The rest of the
Yes.
things you really see, 0 to 20, don't even bother. You just go slow. 20 to 40 is the route is really nice. So you will get to your comfortable pace anyways. And then that I'm assuming 5:15, 5:30 pace you'll get to anyways, right? So 5:30 also if you get average there, right? So then you reach half. And from there on, if you get to 40 to 72 well, you had it.
Exactly. So even I'm also counting on the same thing. So if you, I would just like you to have a look at this pacing chart that I made. So I'm also counting on just having my average pace maybe 6:13, 6:25, 6:12. My camera is not working somehow. There's a problem with the camera.
No problem.
So only in the second half am I going to actually start catching up on the lost time, because otherwise if I run too fast, anybody, whatever your target, 12 hours, 11 hours, or 10 or 9 or 8 or whatever, first stuff has to be very, very slow. That is very important.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, I've seen
And
a lot
one
of
more
people.
important thing.
Sorry,
So-
sorry, Dr. Karate. I've
Yes.
seen a lot of people. First half, no, they chit chat and just say they scroll and go and talk and stuff like that, till about say 20, 25, 20, 21 kilometers. Say they go. Then there's the place like where for 22 to around say 30, 32, 33, there you can cover up a little bit,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Any
in
other
fact,
questions?
23 to 33 and even 33 to 44, practically 23 to 44, the whole stretch is going to be the fastest running.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then again, after the halfway, after 45, once you cross Daman, that is where I blew myself because I was there at 4:30. So I was at 45 in 4:30. And then suddenly these hills started, and I had not actually been taking my gels properly. In fact, I think I didn't take gels at all back then. And the wall started hitting, and and the 9-hour bus passed me. And somehow, and then after that, the Alverstone mast, that difficult climb comes up. So from 47 onwards till 52, till Bothas Hill, it is a complete 6 kilometers of almost 1 or 2 kilometers down, but all of it is otherwise up. And that is when you are actually supposed to, the average will come down. But then once you cross Bothas Hill at 52, then it is all downhill. Up until 52 to 72, almost everything is downhill except for what they call as Heartbreak Hill at 55 kilometers, which is again a considerable climb, which you again walk. And then after 55 to गाड़ी छूटना चाहिए आपका. 55 to 72 you run, because at 72 again I think you get Cobby's Hill. So ऐसा है. So second half में downhill running, the average will come down drastically. So don't bother about your average time up until that point. Is
The
what
worst
I'm
average
banking
will
on.
be after 72.
Yes, the
Worst.
fastest will be after that.
Exactly. In the initial stage, that 14 to 21, no, you got to be careful while going up.
If you preserve,
down,
if you preserve yourself in that stretch, then you'll be able to run in the last one third of the race.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But exactly, like, around 14 when you reach, no, your body is warmed up. Now you've trained to go and the weather is good. There you can't control yourself. That's where you have to control. Yeah.
Yes, that is where what Kiran said is very important. Out of those 5 points that he mentioned, positivity and self-belief and all, but patience. The patience and the belief that you have to hold yourself back and it will be all nice in the end is the most important part. And I just hope and pray that people don't learn this the hard way. Why does it have to be that way? Because at the end of my 2014 race, I was lying down on the ground and cramping and getting convulsions and everything. And now I know that I don't want to do that again. So हमने गलती कर लिया है, आप लोग मत करो. बहुत आराम से जाओ first half में, please.
I've seen person like, from our area only, where I used to stay in Mulund. Around 70s, I saw him. He was just walking. I told him what happened. No, हो गया अभी खत्म हो गया. मैं बोला क्या खत्म हो गया? हम लोग तो 11:30 के लिए जा रहे हैं, 11:30 finish के लिए जा रहे हैं. क्या बात कर रहे हो? मैं बोला हाँ, he's like become zombie. He thought he's finished already. He can't do anything now, So that also happens, you see. Any questions, guys?
Yeah, hi Kiran, Jayalakshmi here. So you mentioned that for Bilron or sub 10, first 0 to 20, we have to go at a pace of 5:45 to 6. So isn't it like little too on higher side? Because we have to be little more conservative at this pace, correct?
Yeah.
But
So
even, first, I mean, just to add to that, Kiran, on 45, if you can reach around say 4:25 also, instead of, I think so, it'll be all right. 4:25.
Yeah, see, Jalakshmi, this comes from the fact that, if you're going for Bilron, your, average zone 3, heart rate, heart zone 3 pace, I'm assuming is 6 or 5:45 to 6. Okay, zone 3.
Yeah,
so-
in flat terrain, yeah.
Yeah, in flat terrain, right?
Mhm.
So that 5:45 is what you pick up, and you do not cross a zone 3. So I'm clearly going by that combination that you are doing a 5:45 and you're a great runner and you're still at zone 3. So zone 3 for you, so if I go from the heart rate zone perspective, right, your 0 to 20 is zone 3. You remember this. Your 0 to 20 is zone 3. And then you slowly start increasing to zone 4 from 20 to 40. But
Okay.
you necessarily don't cross zone 4. Don't break zone 4 before 40.
Okay. 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 So one more question about pain threshold. So if we are conservative in the first half, that you mentioned that pain threshold has to be a little bit more in, I think, 40 to 72.
Correct.
So if we are conservative, I think we'll be having more energy in the second half, correct? So
See, I'll tell you what's going to happen generally if you see 40 to 72, right? So, see, you can be a great runner. The problem is the down run. And a lot of us, have the quad strength. And I've seen this like, you are a 330 or 315, 320 runner, a full marathon runner, but you misjudge that and you get to comrades down run. And what will kill you is, it is so down that your quad strength completely blows you out. You're just not able to control. So the pain on the quads and things that will suddenly appear, your glutes going for a toss, things that suddenly appeared because you did not practice for a down. You're a great runner. You did great in flat runnings. You are a 320, 330 runner. But you never ever saw the downs that is there. Let's say, I'm talking about field hills or Hillcrest down. So those kind of downs that when it comes, you are not prepared for it. And the kind of pain that you can experience because of something which is absolutely new on that day can take you off. So if that is the kind of thing that you would probably experience that day, right? I'm talking about something which you have to do, during the run, pain management during the run.
Okay.
You have to figure out that, you will go on. For me, so I'm good at down run because, I have the quad strength, the calf strength, and I'm generally a bulky guy. So I knew how to control. But for some reason, I had this, itch in my, in my hamstring, which I never got it. Never in my life. And that was an alien pain. Absolutely, I didn't know how to even handle it because I have never felt that pain in my whole life throughout my running career. Just appeared, and I have no idea how to handle it.
It sometimes so happens in this thing. You might be like during the training, you might be having a right leg like hamstring is paining.
Yeah.
But in running comrades there, you won't have that at all. You'll have another leg, you have that pain that you never had before.
Yeah.
Such kind of problems also happens. But while going down, as Kiran said, you should know what pace is comfortable for you. In that
Correct.
pace, you should keep going. If you go a little bit faster, also you might get a cramp. If you slow, also you might get a cramp. You will know exactly judgment as you go. Like keep going in that pace, particular pace. That judgment
Consistency
you will
is the
get.
key.
In fact, yeah.
Yeah. And consistency is the key.
Yeah.
If you know that you can do a 430 in down run, let's say, for example, it's like, too much, but then I'm just saying that, like, 445. If you know that you can do a 445 in your down run, right? Don't go 445 and then suddenly come down to, 530 and suddenly go hit a 415 and suddenly come down to 530. This is the mistake that everyone does. So you reach down and then suddenly increase the pace and then little bit of up and down and then suddenly you hold back and then you go again, right?
Don't
Your body
increase so
will
fast, you mean to say.
Yeah, you will misjudge your whole running form so much, and your whole running form will get misaligned so much that somewhere you will have that issue. So consistency, if you know that you can go at 430, bring it down. You go at 5, but have that consistent 5 throughout. No change in the motion. Consistency in the down run is the key. Don't overexert and don't be so excited. Oh, down, come on, let's go. Don't be excited. Like, have a consistency. That's it. You don't need great down run to meet your Bill Rowan. You just need consistency to meet your Bill Rowan.
Okay. And last question. During the down run, usually like I'm also like a little faster at down run only. Do we have to have carbs? Because a down run when you're moving fast, if you eat carbs, probably we may feel like puking or something like that way. So is it better to have carbs or shall we go with the Coke because only last 20K is left?
Yeah.
So is it better to consume Coke at the last 20 kilometers and not having carbs?
See, too much of Coke gives you this very eerie feeling. Okay, so it's pukish. I mean, that may be person to person, right? So, but I mean, see, the thing is like, when you get exhausted, I'll tell you exactly what happens. Like when you're not fueling enough, right? Where do you get exhausted? On the 70th kilometer, you have 15, 20 more kilometers to go, depending upon, the year. So if you're getting exhausted there, that is when issue happens. You get exhausted, maybe 10, 9 kilometers before the finish line. Yeah, absolutely not a problem. But getting exhausted too early, is directly proportionate to refueling yourself too late.
Okay. Yeah.
So this whole thing about carbs or the whole thing about fueling is something which is something which you have to properly sit with Satish and plan in a way that like you know exactly where to refuel, what is the kilometers, and you don't want to be exhausted at 70. Believe me, that's the worst thing. I've seen
Yeah, you
people
can't do that.
puking and going to the side, and then that's it. Their run is done by then. So if this happens, then it becomes very, very difficult journey from 70 to 85,
90.
whatever. Yeah, 90. That'll be very, very painful because 1 kilometer will be so far that you feel so exhausted, and mentally also it become very challenging for you.
Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Anybody else? Anyone else? Yes. I don't think so. Any more questions?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I hope the session was good and everybody enjoyed. And I mean, my final thought is from now on, the mental preparation starts immediately for 14 days, right? So this is the preparation that is the most important. Okay, so never underestimate the power of your mind.
Exactly.
You think that you can do it, the body comes much more later.
So before we have sorry, Girin. Yeah.
I'm done, Satish.
Yeah, sorry. I mean to say before we have a group photographs, you can, unmute yourself and videos, you can put it on. And it's really a incredible session, Kiran.
Thank you
And
so much.
not just informative, it was, deeply inspiring and beautifully structured. So from the detailed route slide, strategic 10-kilometer pace breakdown, and then the wise reminders on how to control your emotions, and to the powerful motivational videos and historical insights, you covered it all. Everything, the first timers and even the veterans also, I feel needs to hear just 2 weeks before the comrades. It's quite important. And you didn't just talk about running the race, you helped to visualize it, feel it, and most importantly, believe that we belong to that route. It was quite informative and quite a confident builder. And, you really simplified the whole route for us, and it is too good. And thank you very much for your time. And I feel
Thank
that,
you,
as you
Satish.
said, this comrades will make you more matured, and it'll become once we do the comrades, you feel more confident,
Yeah.
more matured, and and stronger, smarter, and more inspired because of you guys in this. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely.
And wishing you many more miles of joy, and many more miles, and hopefully like 2027, see you in comrades.
Yeah. 2027, 100
Yeah.
years, I think. Yeah.
All our veterans should come on 2027.
Yes,
Whoever has
absolutely.
done comrades before. Yeah.
Thanks,
you so
Kiran.
much. Thank you so much. Some
Thank
of
you
you all
very
can
much,
take the
Kiran.
photographs
Thank you.
and share it also with me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
taking
guys
the
so
time.
much.
Thank you, Kiran. Thank you, Satish, for arranging this.
Thank you very much, guys,
Thank
for
you. Thank you all.
joining. Thank you, Sandeep.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Satish sir.
Thank
It was really awesome.
Thank you very much, sir.